Welcome back to the Film Geek. I'm Kyle Litters. Thanks for tuning in again. We have another awesome show for you today. Samuel L. Jackson's Lakeview Terrace opened this weekend's box office at number 1. Burn After Reading slips to number 2. My Best Friend's Girl, starring Jason Biggs, Kate Hudson, and Dane Cook, was at number 3. Igor, this week's movie of the week, was at number 4. Overall, the box office slowed down a little bit, but that's to be expected. And that's a recap of how last week's movies did. As always, let's take a look at the very special, one-of-a-kind Film Geek rating system. The best rating a movie can get is you should take a date, pay full price, and buy the popcorn and Coke. After that, go to the matinee showing, popcorn and Coke optional. And after that, go and rent it on DVD. Finally, if the movie's bad, if it's horrible, if it just is plain stinks, wait for it to come out on TBS. Now, over the past 3 shows, our movies of the week have been R-rated comedies or shoot-'em-up action movies. It was time to change it up a little bit, and this movie lent itself well. Igor is a likable animation comedy for the entire family. John Cusack voices Igor with an all-star supporting cast that includes Steve Buscemi and Eddie Izzard. In the fictional land of malaria, Igors are helpers to evil scientists. However, when a scientist dies, Cusack's Igor creates the ultimate evil creature. But there's only one problem. It's not evil.
Every year in the land of malaria, the most brilliant minds compete to see who is the greatest scientist of them all.
It's the 51st annual Science Fair!
And behind each scientist
Pull the switch!
is an Igor.
Hey, faster! Pull the switch!
Whose job can be summed up in 2 words.
Yes, master.
But one Igor
Pull the switch!
is about to change everything.
Igor!
Sorry, master. I was in the bathroom, had a bat stuck in the belfry, if you know what I mean. I'm sick of being treated like just another Igor.
Igors don't think!
Ow!
An impossible mission.
If I had my shot at the science fair, I'd have the greatest invention of all time.
An Igor inventing.
And an unlikely hero.
She blinded me with science.
Pull the switch! Switch! Switch!
Do not yell at me.
Please pull the switch.
Wait, why does he get to pull the switch?
Stop. You can both pull the switch.
What now, genius?
I created life. Maybe I did too much.
Oh, was it? Was I too much? I was pushing, wasn't I?
This fall,
I will not be beaten by an Igor.
If you were a real scientist, you wouldn't need me to help you cheat.
John Cusack is Igor.
Are you actually trying to hypnotize me, brain?
Yeah. But if that's not working, then how about this?
Ow!
This movie was excellent. Yeah, it's kind of a kiddie movie because it's animation, but it was even funny for the adults. The closest comparison I can draw is Shrek. There's a lot of hidden jokes and spoofery, if you will, in the dialogue, and it's just very funny. The entire cast did a great job. It has a great moral resolution at the end. However, my favorite character was Steve Buscemi, who played a cat that was immortal. So throughout the entire movie, he was coming up with these ingenious ways to kill himself, and he was just so dejected when he came back to life. It was just hilarious. This movie, you definitely need to take a date, pay full price, and buy the popcorn and Coke. And that's it for our movie of the week, and now it's time for upcoming flicks. Ideas for movies come from several places. Sometimes a writer just has an original idea. Books are often used. Folklore is also a source too. One of the new emerging sources is video games. The character of Max Payne burst onto the video game scene in 2001. It quickly garnered a cult following. 7 years later, the character makes the leap to the big screen with Mark Wahlberg in the title role. Payne is a cop who works a dismal job but has a beautiful family. When they are brutally murdered, Payne then sets out on a path of revenge and rampage.
God wants to stay hidden. That's what makes him dangerous.
I wanted to get this tattoo. That's a Valkyrie. The Ratch is dead.
over the battlefield. They reward the people who die in violence.
When the people a man needs get taken away from him.
I love you so much you must kill me now.
You can't ever go back to who you were before.
I love you so much you must kill me now.
What, you a cop or something?
Not tonight.
I was yours.
You have my help with anything else, but not to go in there.
This film has a dark and gritty look to it. It's kind of like a Sin City style type of hyper-action movie. I read a couple of interviews from the stars of the movie, and they said that the film is going to focus less on blood and more on the human aspect, which is really cool. You can really tell how good of an actor someone is when you get to see them play, a wide range of emotions. Wahlberg stars, of course, and Mila Kunis, who some people might remember from That 70s Show, as well as Forgetting Sarah Marshall, she also co-stars in it with the Bridge Brothers. I plan on taking a date, paying full price, and buying the popcorn and Coke. This one looks pretty good. And it's time to move on from the slums of the underworld assassins. Here's what's new on DVD for September 23rd. We've got Leatherheads, Run Fat Boy Run, and Sex and the City. This is one of the bigger Tuesday releases that we've had in a while. Sex and the City is the surefire star here. It was a monster success when it was on HBO and had a huge success this summer at the box office. Many women will be picking this one up, and for good reason. Leatherheads was alright, but it's just worthy of a rent. George Clooney stars and directs in this movie. It's a romantic comedy, but ultimately it just feels like a shallow effort. And that will do it for another episode of the Film Geek. We're wanting to remind all of our viewers that CUTV's programming is on YouTube once again. Simply go to YouTube, type in CUInternetTV with no spaces, and click search. There you'll find episodes of our great news show, Top of the Hour, as well as our sports show, In the Huddle. If you're on campus, simply watch for the plasma screens and you'll see our shows come on in just a little bit. We want to give a big thank you to Jack Connor and everyone at Carmike Theaters for helping us putting together our show. I can't say enough about how friendly everyone is down there and the quality of images on the screen. The popcorn's pretty good too. Charlie Clark of the Lawton Constitution also deserves a thank you for his help. And I personally want to thank the awesome crew that works on this show every week. Without them, the show would never get produced. So on behalf of Dr. Matt Jenkins and the entire crew at CUTV, I'm the Film Geek Kyle Lueders, and we'll see you at the box office.